The Town Where Time Slows Down. Episode 2. The Clockmaker Who Wouldn't Leave. Clara did not sleep much that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the clock tower, its hands frozen at 12, its face staring back at her like an unblinking eye. The notebook rested on her bedside table, untouched, as if it might open itself if she looked away too long. By morning, Briar Hollow seemed ordinary again. People hurried to work. Shops opened their doors. Someone argued loudly over the price of bread. If Clara hadn't felt the lingering weight in the air, she might have believed the pause at noon had been nothing more than a shared illusion. But the notebook was real. So was the sentence written on its first page. After breakfast, Clara wrapped it carefully in cloth and left the bookshop early. There was only one place in town she could think to go. The clockmaker's shop sat in a narrow alley behind the square, squeezed between two buildings that leaned toward one another like old friends. Clara had passed it hundreds of times, yet rarely noticed it. Most people didn't. The sign above the door read simply, E. Holloway. Clock repair. The bell chimed softly when she stepped inside. The shop smelled of oil, dust, and something faintly metallic. Clocks covered every wall, grandfather clocks, mantel clocks, pocket watches, each ticking at its own rhythm. The sound was not loud, but layered, like many quiet conversations happening at once. Behind a cluttered workbench sat an old man with silver hair and steady hands. He did not look up when Clara entered. "You're early," he said. Clara froze. I'm sorry," she replied. He glanced up then, his pale eyes sharp but calm. "You came yesterday too, in a way." Her grip tightened on the cloth-wrapped notebook. "You noticed," she said. A faint smile touched his lips. "I always do." He gestured to a chair. "Sit. You won't be here long, but this conversation will last." Clara sat slowly. "You felt it," he continued. The pause. "Yes," she said. "Did you?" The clockmaker nodded. "I feel it every time." Clara hesitated, then placed the notebook on the workbench. The old man's expression changed, not to surprise, but to recognition. "So," he said quietly. It started again. "You know this?" Clara asked. "I know it well," he replied. "Though I hoped you wouldn't." He opened the notebook with care, as if it were fragile. His fingers hovered over the handwriting, tracing the words without touching them. "This town," he said, "was not always like this. Time used to move through Briar Hollow the way it does everywhere else, without noticing us." "What changed?" Clara asked. The clockmaker closed the notebook. "Someone asked it to stay." Outside, a clock chimed the hour. 10. Clara felt the air thicken just slightly. "Why doesn't anyone else remember?" she asked. "Oh, they remember," he said gently. "Just not all at once. Time gives memories back slowly. It's kinder that way." He leaned back in his chair. "You should know something. When time pauses, it chooses who can move freely. Not many can." "Why me?" The clockmaker studied her face for a long moment. "Because you listen," he said, "and because your father did too." Clara's breath caught. "You knew my father?" The old man nodded. "He tried to leave once, just like you're thinking of doing now." "I'm not," she began. "You are," he said softly. "Everyone does, eventually." Clara stood. "Can you fix this?" The clockmaker did not answer immediately. Instead, he reached beneath the workbench and placed a small brass key in her palm. It was warm. "When the clock tower chimes at noon again," he said, "this will open a door most people can't see." "A door to what?" He met her eyes. "To the part of time that stayed behind." The shop fell quiet. The clock stopped ticking. For a brief, terrifying moment, Clara thought time had paused again. Then, slowly, the ticking resumed. The clockmaker turned away, already dismissing her. "Come back tomorrow," he said. "If you still can." Clara stepped outside into the alley, her heart pounding. Behind her, the sign above the shop creaked gently in the wind. E. Holloway. Clock repair. She looked at the brass key in her hand. Far above, the clock tower waited,